Hello students, welcome back to fourth session on dividend policies. In this problem, we are concentrating on additional problems on Gordon model. You know that in last three sessions we discussed about dividend policies. In first session we discussed in detail about what is dividend policy, and what are the two categories of dividend theories. In that we concentrated on Walter model. In second and third session, we concentrated on practical aspects relating to Walter model, and even we started discussing about Gordon model. In third session, specifically we talked in detail about Gordon model and we solved a problem on Gordon model also. Today we are concentrating on additional problems on a Gordon model. You just look at this illustration. A company is expected to pay a dividend of rupees 6 per share next year. Whenever you have information like dividend to be payable next year, it is always D1. In case if it says the dividend of previous year, then it is always D0. The dividend are expected to grow perpetually, means it is forever, at a rate of 9%. What is the value of share if the required rate of return is 15%? So we know that we studied it in cost of capital chapter. How to calculate KE? KE is equal to D1 divided by T0, otherwise P plus G. The same formula is made use by Gordon to arrive at P. P is equal to D1 divided by KE minus G. So D1 given in the problem is 6. KE means required rate of return or cost of capital or cut-off rate, which is 15%, 0.15, minus growth rate, which remained constant forever, 0.09, because it is 9%. So 6 divided by 0.06 is rupees 100. So this is how to calculate value of share if they are giving information about current year dividend, required rate of return or cost of capital, and growth rate. If you look at next illustration, so what is given is the current market price of company share is rupees 75 and dividend per share is rupees 5. Calculate dividend growth rate if capitalization rate is 12%. So what is given? They had given us P. P is how much? 75. And dividend per share is given without specifying whether it is current year dividend or current year, previous year or expected dividend, without specifying that. If that is the case, we should always assume the given dividend as D0, that is dividend during previous year. Try to understand. If they are not specifying which year dividend it is, whether it is next year or previous year, so we should assume the given dividend is dividend of previous year, that is 5. So calculate dividend growth rate if capitalization rate is 12%. So means they had given us KE, they have not given us G. We should arrive at G. So P0 given in the problem is 75 is equal to whatever D is considered as previous year dividend, that is D0. So D1 is equal to D0 into 1 plus G, that is 5 into 1 plus G, growth rate is not given in the problem, divided by 0.12, that is KE minus G. So now 75 into 0.12 minus 75 into G. So means 9 minus 75G is equal to 5 into 5G. 5 plus 5G when you simplify. So 90 minus 75G, 9.0 minus 75G is equal to how much? Means we should bring G this side and we should take 9 that side. When you bring this G this side, minus 75G minus 5G means minus 80G it will become. When you take 9 that side, it will become minus 9. So 5 minus 9 will become minus 4. So minus 80G will be equal to minus 4. G will be minus 4 divided by minus 80. The answer is 0.05. So if you want to present it in terms of percentage, multiply it with 100, you will arrive 5% as growth rate. See, with the help of the same formula which was given by Gordon based on dividend growth model which we studied in cost of capital chapter. So we can arrive at G also, that is growth rate also. Not just arriving at P0, we can make use of the same formula to arrive at growth rate. Try to understand. Because here, what is given? Price is given, dividend is given without specifying which year dividend it is. So we are assuming it is D0. So next illustration 8, the current price of company share is 200, P is given. So the company is expected to pay a dividend of rupees 5 per share. When there is a sentence that expected to pay means it is not D0, it is D1 because it is next year dividend. So annual growth rate is 10%. If the investor's required rate of is 12%, should he buy the share? So now we should give suggestion with regard to purchase of share. See, the current market price is given 200. So now the question is whether they have given all information, current market price, expected dividend that is D1, then annual growth rate that is G, then investor required rate of return 12%. Now we should advise him whether he can go for purchasing share. Present market price is 200 rupees. So what will be the price he need to pay now to purchase? That should be calculated. So P0, that is P1 is given which is 200 at present. So what was P0 when he purchased it? So P0 is equal to D1 divided by KE minus G. So D1 is 5, KE is 0.12 minus 0.10. The answer is rupees 250. So now the question is, as the value of share is 250, which is more than the current price, that is rupees 200, the investor should purchase the share. See, actual value in the market is, calculated value is 250, but actual value in the market is 200. Try to understand. So, 250's share, if he goes to market, he can purchase it at 200 rupees. So that is beneficial to him so that he can purchase share. What we calculated here is what price prevail in the market, not the market price. The current price of company share is 200. What price is there in the market? In case if same dividend, same KE, same G holds good. So we will arrive at 250. If calculated value is more than the current market price, so we can advise for buying the share. If calculated value is less than the market price, we should not advise for buying the share. The next one is, just look at the ninth one. The book value per share of a company is rupees 145.50. Its rate of return on equity is 10%. The company follows dividend policy of 60% payout. What is the price of the share if capitalization rate is 12%? So at 10% capitalization rate, 145 was the price, book value. The company follows dividend of paying dividend policy of 60% payout. What should be the price at a capitalization rate of 12%? That is the question. First we will calculate earning per share. So earning per share is always calculated at book value. So book values, how much percentage is earning? Rate of return. Return is given. Rate of return, not required rate of return. Rate of return. Capitalization rate is required rate of return. Rate of return is return. So return is 10%. 145.50 into 10% will become 14.55 is earning or return per share. How much is paid out as dividend? 60% per share. So 14.55 into 60 by 100 means 8.73 is, what is that? Dividend per share. Try to understand. 8.73 is dividend per share. And at the same time, it is given that the company follows a dividend policy of 60% payout. What is the price of the share if the capitalization rate is 12%? So KE is 12. D1 just now we calculated, it is 8.73. So how we calculated D1? After calculating earning per share. How we calculated earning per share? Book value per share into rate of return is earning. Earning into payout ratio is dividend. So now growth in dividend. We should calculate the growth in dividend. So what is whether any information is given with regard to growth? That's the question to be answered. So they have not mentioned anywhere about the growth rate, I feel. So nowhere it is there. So that information is missing in the problem. So try to understand that information is not there in the problem, but we can calculate growth rate. How can we calculate growth rate? So we can calculate growth rate by multiplying rate of return with what is that? Retention ratio, because G is equal to BR. What is G? So G is growth rate. B is what? That is retention ratio. R is what? Rate of return. How to calculate retention ratio? 1 minus payout ratio. 1 minus 0.60 is equal to 0.40, means 40%. So return, that is 0.10 into retention ratio 40 divided by 100, 40% is equal to 0.04. Try to understand. G is always B into R. R means return, B means retention ratio. Listen carefully. So R is return, that is 10%. Into retention ratio, B. How to calculate B? 1 minus payout ratio. 1 minus 60%. 1 minus 60% means 100 minus 60%. Means how much? 40%. So 10 into 40% of 10% is 0.04. Means 4%. Now we can calculate P. P is equal to P during current year. D1 divided by KE minus G. That is 8.73 divided by 0.12 minus 0.004. 0.12 is the required rate of return. So 8.73 divided by 0.08. Answer is 109.13. Now we move towards illustration 10. A company decides that it will not pay any dividend for 20 years. After that time, it is expected that company could pay dividend of rupees 15 per share indefinitely. However, company at present could pay rupees 3 per share. The required rate of company shareholder is 10%. What is the loss to each shareholder as a result of policy of company? Calculate value of equity share. See, it is given that company decides not to pay dividend for how many years? 20 years. After that time, it is expected that company could pay dividend of 15 per share. Dividend of how much per share? 15 per share. So, after 20 years, it is going to pay 15 rupees per share as dividend. So, dividend is not growing from 20 years. There is no growth rate. If there is no growth rate, P is equal to D divided by KE. So DE will become, so D1 will become at the end of 20th year, it could pay how much rupees? 15 rupees divided by KE, that is 0.10 minus G. There is no growth in dividend at all because dividend was not at all paid. So 15 divided by KE 0.10. So P0, P means price at the, not P0, P1, that is price at the beginning, at the end of 20th year is rupees 150. So what is current price of this share? That's the question to be answered. So current price of this share is equal to 150. That is that is price at the end of 20th year divided by 1 plus required rate of return, that is 10 to the power 20. So this is you might have remembered present value. Means we calculated NPV. I think you may remember that. So how to calculate NPV? Present value of cash inflow minus present value of cash outflow. So now we want to know the present value. Present value is equal to value at the end of 20th year divided by 1 plus K to the power 20. So 1 plus K means 20%. 1.1. 1.10 or 1.1 to the power 20. So the value will become 22.29 rupees. the value of share if the company at present could pay dividend rupees 3. So in case if the company pays 3 rupees dividend, so then P0 is equal to 3 divided by KE minus G, G is equal to 0, 3 divided by 0.10, it will become 30. So thus, the last per share to each shareholder is 30 minus 22.29, that is 7.71. Listen carefully what we did here. So we calculated what will be the price at the end of 20th year, means beginning of 21st year, that is 150. So how we calculated? P is equal to D divided by KE minus G, G is 0. Because there is no growth dividend at all, so then the concept growth will not come. So after that time, the company could pay a dividend of 15 rupees indefinitely. So indefinitely means there is no growth rate at all. That's why G we considered as 0. Now, what is the current price? Current price means present value. So that is 150 rupees, that is the price at the end of 20th year divided by 1.1 plus K, that is 0.10 to the power 20. Answer is 22.29. So now, if the organization pays this, however, the company at present could pay how much? Only 3 rupees. So 3 divided by KE minus G, there is no growth rate. So that is 0. So price will become 30. So the last per share means because of paying 3 rupees dividend, so what is the last happen to the organizer, shareholder? So 30 minus 22.29, answer is 7.71 rupees. So now we are moving towards last problem. X Limited is foreseeing a growth rate of 12% per annum in the next 2 years. The growth rate is likely to fall to 10% per third and fourth year. After that, growth rate is expected to stabilize at 8% per annum. If the last dividend paid was 1.50 per share and investor required rate of return is how much? 16%. Find out intrinsic value per share of X Limited as of date. You may use the following table. Here is given present value factor at 16% is given. Now we have to calculate present value of expected dividend. So during different growth rate, means during supernormal growth rate. Actually we have not solved any problems under supernormal growth while calculating cost of equity. You know that while calculating cost of equity in second chapter, so we studied 3 models. One is dividend model, the next one is dividend plus growth model when growth remain constant, and the next one is earning per share model. So there is one more model known as dividend growth model, which we have not, means dividend will grow at a supernormal rate. So that model we have not discussed, because it was not within the purview of the syllabus. But to solve this problem, so we should apply that model itself. So first what we have to do is, we should calculate the dividend at that rate. See, X Limited is forecasting a growth rate of 12% per annum in the next 2 years and a growth rate of 10% for third and fourth year. After that, growth rate is expected to stabilize at 8%. So till 4 years it is not stabilizing. The last dividend paid was 1.50. So means before at the end of a particular year, organization started to expect for next 2 years. At the beginning of 2 years, that is first 2 years, the dividend paid was 1.50. Then what is the dividend, expected dividend? So D1 during current year is D0, that is 1.5 into 1 plus 0.12 to the power 1. That will become 1.68. For second year, 1.50 into 1 plus 0.12 to the power 2. That will become 1.88. For third year, there is change in growth rate. Try to understand. So growth rate changes. So second year dividend should be considered as previous year dividend for third year onwards, because first and second year dividend remain unchanged, that is 12%. But third year it gets changed. So second years will become previous year dividend now. 1.88 into 1 plus 0.10 to the power 1, that is 2.07. 1.88 into 1 plus 0.10 to the power 2, 2.28. So, first 2 years there is 12% growth. Next 2 years there is 10% growth. We arrived at expected dividend. So, expected dividend should be multiplied with the present value factor at 16% given in the problem. We arrive at present value of dividend. So, once we calculate present value of dividend, so now we have to calculate market value of share at the end of 4th year or at the beginning of 5th year. So P1, that is P5 means price at the beginning of 5th year will become D1. What is D1? D1 is D0, that is dividend during 4th year, 2.28 into after 4th year, dividend will grow constantly at how much percent? 8% into 1 plus G divided by KE, that is 0.16 minus 0.08. It is given in the problem. Answer will become 30.78. So, this is what current market value. We need to calculate what is present value of this market price. Present value of this market price is market price into present value factor at the end of 4th year, that is 0.55, will arrive as 16.929. So, intrinsic value is always present value of dividend plus present value of market price. Present value of dividend we calculated as 5.419 and present value of market price we calculated as 30.78. The answer is, not 30.78, 16.929. So, intrinsic value is 22.35. What is intrinsic value? It is sum of present value of dividend and present value of market price. How we calculated present value? It is there in the table. Just look at that. So, then we calculated market price at the end of 4th year, which is equal to dividend at the end of 4th year. At the end of 4th year means at the beginning of 5th year. Dividend at the end of the 4th year is P0 into 1 plus GG after the 4th year is 8% divided by KE minus G. The present value of that 55 rupees, sorry, 30.78 rupees is 30.78 into present value factor at the beginning of 4th year or at the end of 5th year. Sorry, at the beginning of 5th year or at the end of 4th year. We have present value factor at the end of 4th year. As what is given in 5th year factor is also given, but that is at the end of 5th year. We need to calculate at the beginning of 5th year. That's why we have to calculate, take present value at the end of 4th year, that is 0.55. So 16.929 plus 5.419 is equal to 22.35. This is all about additional problems on what model? Gordon model. So usually you may not get this type of complicated problem, just know we concentrated on that is problem like illustration 12. Usually you will get illustration 9, 8 and 7, 6 we solve. No such type of problem definitely will come. And one more type of problem is directly a problem on Gordon model where we have to calculate, apply Gordon formula to arrive at price at different growth, required rate and cost of capital. Try to understand. Required when R is equal to K, when R is more than K, when R is less than K, a different payout ratio, what is the value of share as per Gordon model. That was the first problem which we solved after me explaining Gordon theory. I solved one problem. In that problem, I left last portion to you. So I think you have already calculated. So such type of problems usually will appear under Gordon model. So just make you to understand that in case this type of problem comes, what you have to do. I concentrated on illustration 10 and illustration 12. So I left illustration 11 because that type of problem will never come for exam. It's of no use. So we need to concentrate only on problems which we discussed so far. So that's all. We will see the remaining aspects particularly in the next class. I think in next session we are concentrating on dividend irrelevance theory given by Modigliani and Miller. So we will see what Modigliani and Miller says with regard to dividend irrelevance theory, along with the proof that they specified and all assumptions that they made, and even we are practically solving some problems relating to Modigliani Miller approach, that is dividend irrelevance approach. We will see all those things are all aspects relating to that theory particularly in next session. Till that, take care. Thank you.